Eurovision Song Contest. It's a state of play. It's a state of play.
We have a Eurovision.
Get all the updates. Join the conversation with Alesia Michelle.
Sean, who are you wearing?
She did it.
Starting now.
Oh my goodness. I am so ready to talk mainly about our running order. Hey, if you've never been to my channel before, welcome. I am Alesia Michelle, and if you love the Eurovision Song Contest, I think you will love my channel. So take this opportunity right now to like this video and to subscribe, because here's the thing. If you like this video and you subscribe, then you could be here live. This is a live conversation. Hello, everyone. I mean, this was a big Eurovision news week. I mean, because, we basically, got our running order, and I did like some quick reactions. And when I say quick, it was like the photo was dropped and then I looked at it and then I opened up TikTok and I was like, let's talk about it. So I was partially joking because I feel like, it's a funny thing with the running order, because I feel like no matter what they'll set up, we're going to have edits. We're going to have critiques. There's going to be some way that we feel that we could have done it better. There's going to be some way. I mean, I'm just saying, and there are times when I have to be real with myself that I'm like, okay, it doesn't really matter. It's fine. But the thing is, it can matter. And when I was looking at the running order, I was like, this is going to affect some things. So I do have my notebook. I did take some notes, and I'm ready to have this conversation. And yeah, so this is what we're going to kick off with. We've got a lot of topics to cover. We're going to do running order and analysis and kind of my reaction. That's going to be the first thing that we're going to touch on. Then we can kind of talk about, because I released my top 10 for now. I did do that. And then I kind of wanted to do some verses, especially because we now have the running order. You can kind of see, some of the comparisons being made, or see like certain comparisons that'll be easier to be made. So I'm saying amongst ourselves, we can figure out, okay, who do we think shines? This person versus this person, and really song, package, performance. That's really what we're breaking down. And then of course, we just do potpourri and talk about everything. Okay. So I think the first thing, I'm like, somebody said, it's so funny because I just want to say, this is a 4K HD camera, but you all realize because you're streaming this, it's going to pull different things. So this is a 4K camera. But yeah. All right. Okay. So let me just make sure I've got my setup correct. And we're just going to go through this, okay? We're going to go through this. I don't know. This might be like teeny tiny for you. If you're watching on a phone, it might be really teeny tiny. Maybe let's see if I can make it. Can I zoom in? Can I make it a little bit bigger? I don't know, because it's going to mobile app it. So, I think this is what we got to work with. All right. So we're kicking off the big show, the whole show. We're kicking off with Cyprus. And maybe I'm going to just go through and tell you like my quick thoughts, like sort of, I think Cyprus opening is cool. It makes sense. We knew Cyprus was a contender to open, upbeat track. So you're sort of starting off the show with a splash, but I don't know if this is necessarily going to be an optimal opening for Cyprus, because of the fact that we know a lot of people tune in later. They tune into the show later. So some people might just altogether miss what Cyprus is doing on the stage. It's totally possible. So I think where I'm coming from, let's see what y'all are saying. Silia is going to devour. I don't worry at all. Okay, good for you. Cyprus first was so predictable. But I mean, sometimes isn't predictable good? I think Cyprus is a fun opener. I agree. I think that this is a good song to open with. But I'm going to tell you, I might have opened my show with Lithuania. I might have done that, for narrative's sake. I would have considered opening with Ukraine. I don't think that would have been awful. And like really looking at the first half, I'll tell you the crimes that I see it. The crimes from where I see it. Serbia second. Serbia second. This is non-optimal for Serbia. Do I think Serbia is still going to make it? Yes. But do I think that there were more optimal places to put Serbia? Completely. Ireland in this first half, I don't think that this is an optimal position from Ireland. Here's the benefit of Ireland, though. No one's going to forget the entry. But I do think sandwiching it between two very slick sort of songs that we know people will latch onto to a certain degree, and then sort of having this out of the box thing in the middle, I don't think was particularly helpful for Ireland. So I did feel like Ireland was hurt by the running order here a little bit. Let's move to the second half. I think Slovenia, I actually would have put in that eighth slot. I think I would have actually put Slovenia there, and we could have even moved Iceland, like just done a quick swap there. I actually think Slovenia being next to Croatia wouldn't have been awful. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's completely hurt by the running order, but I just think that there could have been more optimal places to put it. Moldova, I think Moldova is being hurt by this running order. I'm going to be real with you. I think coming from sort of the unseriousness of Finland and then going to Moldova, that is, I think, a serious performance. There's nothing like really bombastic and joyful about it. But then going into that very slick stage show that Sweden is going to give us, I do think Moldova is good at staging. But are they going to give us something as slick? I don't know. And even with Finland's entry, as like unserious as it is, this is like a surefire qualifier, like well executed, I would say, visually, like stage show sort of piece. And so I wonder if Moldova will end up feeling almost like too serious and almost like too adult in that space. So I don't know about that. And then I would say I don't love Azerbaijan and Australia next to each other. I don't feel like the songs are completely similar, but they sort of have like those ethnic elements next to each other. I'm thinking in the battle of this, and we'll get to kind of like what I think this will result in, not my locked in semifinal predictions. Y'all know I do a video for that. But I do sort of feel like I think Australia still will edge out Azerbaijan potentially in this battle, but Azerbaijan could also edge out Australia if they're not on it when it comes to the staging. I think Portugal's fine, and I've been telling you that Luxembourg was going to qualify. Let me see what y'all are talking about. And this is semifinal one. Hold on. So FF, do you think Finland would have been out if a jury was there? No. Kaleido says Australia and Azerbaijan next to each other. Now, I would have split them up personally. DKV Poland is at a death slot, but to be honest, between Ukraine and Croatia, I don't think so. I think Poland's actually going to execute this well. I think Poland is qualifying. I think here's the thing, Ukraine having like kind of the rap element in it and being so ethnic, although it will be executed, I believe, to perfection. I think that Ukraine, Poland, and Croatia really do stand out so much. Here's the thing. I would have put Poland. I could have swapped Poland with Serbia. I mean, that could have been an easy swap to make. I think Poland could have even opened the show, but we don't know what their staging is gonna be. ESC Dakota, Australia wins that battle hands down. I do think Australia will edge out, but it's gonna mean that they have to stage it well. Something that Australia is capable of doing. Official Spencer, Iceland at a risky spot. Iceland ain't making it. I didn't think they were making it before. I don't think they're going to be making it now. I don't think that this is the most optimal position for them. I think the more optimal position for Iceland actually would have been after Germany. But whatever. PR mock, not in a million years is Poland qualifying. Look, I don't need Poland in my final, but do I think it's qualifying? Yeah. Yeah. Josh, Poland is too good, but yes, Poland and Serbia switching spots would have been more optimal for both. I agree. I do actually think Poland coming after Cyprus actually wouldn't have been that bad. I think it would have. I would think it would have been fine for it. And then what else? What else are you talking? Simon, happy for Luxembourg. I mean, there's nothing to really be happy about. We knew this was going to happen. There was no doubt in my mind that Luxembourg, the only thing that made me go maybe really was Australia. Really, Australia was the one that I was like, oh, well, because sometimes they do just love to go for that rah, rah, we are the world kind of feel. And I do think Australia is giving us that ever so slightly. So yeah, I'm Stevan. Cyprus and Lithuania only have dancers. Serbia has a huge prop, so it's not down to the song, but logistics, yeah. I mean, yeah. Here's the thing. I still think Serbia is going to make it. Do I think that it coming second hurts it? Yes, I absolutely do. Will it hurt it enough to hold it back? In this case, I don't think so. In this case, I don't think so. And just to kind of wrap up my thoughts on semifinal one, I do actually think we are now living in potentially a 5-5 scenario where we can get 5 qualifiers from the first half, 5 in the second half. And here's where I'm kind of here's where I'm kind of living. Here's where I'm kind of living. I feel, and let me just be clear, there's only 7 songs from semifinal one that I feel like I need to see advance. And of those, there's only one that I am actually worried about for its chances to qualify, and everyone should know what that is. It's Ireland. Another question I think out of semifinal one that people have been having, will we get both TEYA, DORA, and Yolanda? I think so. I think we're getting Portugal, and I think we're getting Serbia. I think we'll have our 2, sad girl ballads. I don't know. Well, really, they're not sad girl ballads. They really are like, I was sad, and now I'm hopeful. That's like really like, and now I'm hopeful. I'm coming out here. So I do think that we could get both of them. David, Australia is serving message song, but in a classy way. I agree with that. DKV, we need Ireland in the finals. I do, but I'm telling you, have y'all seen some people, like some people really cannot stand that song. Not a bad thing though. You want to be divisive. Matt says, I need Australia to make it. And then Nil Era says, it's a very weak semifinal. Y'all, please do not forget, Eurovision's all about the what? The execution. I think a lot of y'all are forgetting it because I just want to paint the picture of last year. There were some people who thought last year was a strong year. I was not one of them. And I think part of why I was not one of them was because I had deep concerns for a lot of the performers last year and their ability to bring the songs to life in a confident and proficient way. I think I was proven correct. My fears were validated to a certain degree because, I mean, we saw a lot of performances last year just simply fall apart before our eyes. And I would say even some that ended up finishing fine. But, was the execution perfection? Absolutely not. And so I just think we have to be realistic and prepare ourselves for the fact that, some of these are just simply not going to come together on stage well. I would love to see it if they did, though. That's why I'm like, the jury's still out on whether it's like fully a strong year. I feel like it is a strong year sonically, studio cut wise. And I am hopeful that we will be able to get really clean execution, but I just don't think everyone's going to be on the same level. That's just the reality. That's just the reality of it. Helly says, I hope Lithuania will stand out. They will. FF, the second half is so much worse than the first. Yeah, weaker. Antonio, Serbia was a more televote friendly song last year, and that barely got 10th. Right. But then I think also, I don't know if Serbia last year was a televote friendly song. It was risky. It was out of the box. And we know that a lot of people are allergic to risky and out of the box, not to mention the song went in English. There were English words in it, but it went in English. So I think there were a lot of elements in there that made it, risky out of the box. Luckily, we got it at the final. We needed to have it at the final, so we'll see. Yeah. Okay. So, let me just say, looking at the running order for the first semifinal, Ireland, Cyprus, and Moldova, I think were hurt the most by what I am seeing. period. And I think for some of the people who had Luxembourg on the fence, I think Luxembourg is pretty much a surefire. I was like, I just don't see them bringing them back. This is my Eurovision conspiracy theory, but I just was like, I don't see them bringing them back to not have them advance. I just couldn't really see a world around that. Black Birdie, we need to think outside the Eurovision fan bubble. Viewers will not instantly respond to Ireland. I mean, that's what I've been telling people. It's divisive. Like, we can't be surprised if it doesn't make it. But I just really hope that if it doesn't make it, Ireland doesn't then get scared and then all of a sudden just want to send us like boring and bland again. They cannot do that. Because here's the thing, at Eurovision, there is a level, I think, of paying your dues a little bit. And some people will be like, okay, you did that for us now, but like, I don't know. Like, are you really coming to play? Are you really coming to play? And unfortunately, some countries just have to pay the debt and have to pay the toll longer than other countries. Ireland might be one of them. I'm hoping not. This is so brash. It's good. And when I tell you, like, I like the song. I don't know. Maybe it's crazy for some folks. I do like the song. Gospel, and we better find a scenario where Poland does not qualify. I think that there is a scenario where Poland doesn't qualify, and that would have to be Cyprus not qualifying or something. Or, yeah, like basically people not wanting pop perfection maybe from the girls. And maybe they're just like, oh, I'm just so enthralled by what and I think the other scenario is if the UK really is able to execute Dizzy well. That could be a scenario that makes people go, oh, and it would have to mean that Luna maybe just really fumbled on the vocal. I'm not expecting that to happen, but that would have to be the sense. Vincent, I do think Ireland will be talked about a lot and will stand out since there is that ad break before the UK. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So yeah. I think Ireland, Cyprus, and Moldova were hurt the most by the running order. I actually think Poland's in a pretty good spot. Like, sixth position actually isn't that bad. But we have added the element of the big five performing. And I think that is the only thing that I could say really shifting Poland is if, you know, we're getting really, really slick from Lithuania. Cyprus is really, really slick and people love it. And the UK is really, really slick and people love it. And then if Poland's looks, you know, budget or the vocal is not together. And like I said, I don't think it's going to look budget. And I don't think the vocal won't be together. I do think Luna's going to be able to execute this. Not to mention, I think a lot of people actually like Poland's song this year. In contrast to last year where people were, you know, here for the baby of it all, but not actually the quality of the song. So let's move on. Let's move on. Let's go to second semifinal. Okay, so let me just start off. I think Malta is not served by opening the show, although I think Malta is a good opener for the show, much like I do think, you know, just for the same merits of Cyprus being a strong opener. But I think Malta coming this early and being a country that has historically struggled to qualify with the televote, we know people having latency bias. I'm concerned because there also isn't, pair with that, the fact that Malta doesn't have a lot of momentum in the fandom right now. I am hopeful, though, for Malta that if she can really execute this song well and set the bar, which I actually think that Sarah is capable of doing. Like, I actually think she's capable of doing it. I think there are some people in the space who are not. Then she could make it really harder for, like, the Nutsas. Dare I say, could she make it harder for the Austrias? Because this is the only thing with Austria is I feel confident, but I'm like, there is a world that they could fumble the bag on the staging because, to be honest, I feel like they kind of fumbled the bag on the staging last year. But I digress. I think that Malta's hurt by the running order. I think Denmark and Latvia are hurt by the running order. I actually I don't think that Georgia is being served well by this running order. I think, I could make a case for it, but ultimately I'm leaning more towards like, I don't think that actually was the most optimal position for Georgia. And those would be like my big standout things. And then, and I said this in my TikTok video, Israel is not being served by being put next to Italy. You've got two pop girlies next to each other. Yeah, sure. Italy's song is upbeat and Israel's song is like a power ballad. But anytime you have one of the big favorites to win next to anybody, it's going to be tricky. But then next to someone basically in your same demographic, I mean, like, let's be real. And they did not have to put them two songs together. They did not. We could have had Israel next to Belgium and had ourselves like a little power ballad, tour or whatever, and then put Estonia around it. I just think the comparisons won't be great. And this was not, this was non-optimal. So those are my, I would say, who's hurt by the running order? Israel, Malta, Denmark, and Latvia. That's the world I'm living in that I think are hurt the most. Let me break this down. Also, too, I'm still living in a world where there's only 6 songs from this semifinal that I feel like I need to see advance. Only 6. I'm not going to go into the details. Y'all can probably infer which ones are which. Of those 6 songs, one of them I think I could lose. And let me break it down to y'all. Well, before I break it down, let me hop into some of these comments. So, official Spencer worried for Estonia and San Marino. Andreas. Austria after France is so bizarre. Honestly, I don't think it's actually that bad. France is like a very run-of-the-mill piece. And so I think that Austria actually, coming after that, it gives Austria a chance to shine. Gustav, Nutza has to qualify or I'm going to go hide in a ditch. Jamie, I think Albania's hurt too. Baby, Albania got hurt when they decided to reimagine that song. They got hurt off that. So this running order just, I think, was like the nail in the coffin. It was already going down the river, and now I think it's just it's gone. It's gone. Dang. ESC, Eddie, I actually think Malta opening is better for them than most of the other spots possible for the first half. Maybe ending the half would have been good too, but like this, viewers will remember who opened. I do live in a world of like, people remember the front and the back end of things. Like I do live in that world. But how do I put it? I feel, I don't know. Here's the thing. It's just Malta's performance will just have to be really, really show-stopping. And it will have to set the bar. So then the other people compete. And just the challenge of that is, I think Georgia has momentum if we're talking about female bops and like, kind of moments. And Austria has more momentum. And I would say I have more faith in Austria on the execution just because of Colleen. Like I feel more confidence in that bucket. Let me see what else y'all got. Okay, wait. Greece and Switzerland next to each other was nasty work, to be honest. I completely. There is no reason for Greece and Switzerland to be next to each other. They're both too risky, out of the box entries. I think that we could have done with a palate cleanser. I said this in my TikTok video. I think we could have bumped up Denmark actually. And I actually think Denmark coming after Greece would have been more optimal for Denmark if we were trying to, balance the scales a little bit. And Switzerland, we really could have had coming a little bit lower. I mean, but even if you wanted to keep Switzerland, like if you wanted to put Switzerland maybe in the 3rd position, I wouldn't have. I would have had people wait for that a little bit more. But even if you want to have Switzerland, then Denmark, then Czechia, then we could have gone to Greece. I just think both of them are songs that could have done well with a little bit of a palate cleanser, but not even a palate cleanser, but like, because Denmark's is still bombastic, but it's bombastic in a little bit more of an accessible, and in a little bit more of an accessible package. Czechia deserves a spot too. Are you saying deserves a spot and like shafted by the running order? Because if we're saying that, kinda, I think that I don't think that this was the most optimal, but again, Czechia is kind of one of those countries, like, I don't think you'll forget it. Like, I don't think people will forget that it happened. But they could have used a blessing. They could have used a blessing. Adam, Denmark is in an optimal spot this year. I don't agree. Because I'm going to be real with y'all. And maybe I should just break. I'll tell you like why. Here's the thing. If I do qualifiers from semifinal to, let's say Greece makes it, Switzerland makes it, Austria makes it, we get Armenia. Then put a pause. I'm going to leave 2 spots free. We're going to get Belgium. We're going to get the Netherlands. Israel's qualifying and Norway's going to qualify. So we've got 2 slots left. Here's the thing. If we lose both Denmark and Latvia, to me, that tells me that people will be here. So if we lose Denmark and Latvia, then I kind of feel like then that tells me people might not be interested in what Georgia's offering. And then we could possibly get San Marino and Estonia. And I got an asterisk for Estonia too. So I think that means like, oh, we don't really need this slick pop. Like, we want something bombastic. We want something crazy. We want something wild. San Marino, Estonia are going to give it to them. And that's the battle I'm kind of creating a little bit in my head. But here's this. If we get Latvia or Denmark, and I'm going to tell you, I think Latvia actually has a little bit more of an advantage than Denmark, just being like running order wise. Because I mean, we've got Armenia, and then it's like Hollow, which is very different, but also I think pretty mainstream, pretty commercial. And then you got Nebulosa coming after, and then San Marino. It's like Dons can look like the adult in the room in a good way. But let's just say if we get Latvia or Denmark, like I said, I played Denmark's song for people. Denmark is actually on my Eurovision Faves playlist. I sing along to it. I don't think it's revolutionary. It's not taking us anywhere we haven't been before. But there's something really palatable about it. It goes down easy. So if we get Latvia or Denmark, then in that other second slot that I kind of had, then I feel like we're getting Georgia. And then that means we're losing San Marino and we're likely losing Estonia. Here's Estonia's problem. It's the staging. The staging is messy. It's unintentional. It's not transportive. Say what you want about Finland's song. I have, but at least we're getting like a stage show with it. Estonia is really just some dudes with we got 6 microphones, being handed around on stage, just doing whatever. And some of that I like. Some of that, like, kind of the, like, I don't really care. I don't give a. But here's the thing. When it's so obvious that you don't give a, then people will go, okay, cool. Thank you for this song. Thank you for the performance. But why do I have to pick up the phone and call for you? Ooh, I do think Estonia actually is being served in the running order because it is sort of messy and frantic in a I don't give a way. And the thing is, Belgium, they care. Italy, they're gonna care. So to sort of have the like I don't give a of it all. So I say all that to say, like, I don't think Estonia's DOA. I don't think Georgia's DOA. But I do think there are certain variables that I'm like, I haven't quite put my finger on and I'll marinate on a little bit longer. But yeah, let's see. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So many comments. Nutsa is kind of going to pull in Eleni Fuera, not to become a fan favorite, but she will become an easy qualifier from a borderline. See, this is the thing. I think it's the revisionist history of it all. Cyprus was never a borderline qualifier that year, though. Y'all, I think people have heard the tales, like the myth, the story of like, oh yeah, she was just under, She was just under the radar and everything, and they have manifested that into nobody was checking for her. People thought I wouldn't even qualify, and that wasn't really the case. You could peep my videos from that time. I mean, I was living in that reaction, okay? I was getting my whole life. PRMDK, I don't see a world where San Marino is qualifying. I could do the math. But I think it depends. I think it depends. Jordan, I can't see Latvia qualifying. Here's where I told you, here's where I'm at. I think that we could lose both Denmark and Latvia. Straight up. And like I said, if we lose both of those, then that tells me, San Marino, Estonia, and Georgia have a shot. But I'm leaning towards, San Marino and Estonia having the edge because they are so, out of the box or whatever. Also, I think y'all are still forgetting in the fandom that people are not allergic to rock, okay? They're not. They're allergic to certain kinds of rock. But I don't think that they're allergic to what San Marino is serving this year, and like Megara. Not to mention, Megara definitely got like a slightly optimized slot because, if Spain is watching, then it's like, oh, great. I don't even have to watch the rest of this. I can just watch San Marino, see Megara perform, and then I can shut my TV off and vote, not watch the rest of this. So they did get a little bit of a boost from that. ESC Dakota says Latvia shouldn't qualify. Sorry, y'all. I mean, I don't have I should just be clear. I don't have Latvia in my, I need to see it advance. Jewel, Latvia is not qualifying. The songs around it are so lively, it's going to be easily forgotten. ESC Dakota, if Estonia has staging, they're safe, but they can't just wing it like Esti Lau completely. That's the thing. Estonia has a chance. But if we're getting like exactly what we got at Esti Lau, then I'd feel more like it's giving more you're out than you're in. But I will say this, makes it easier for Georgia to make their way back to the grand final. So, but I have to say, I prefer Estonia's song to Georgia's song, but y'all know. Kaleido Space, I wish San Marino was in semifinal 1. No, that wouldn't have been good for them. It's better for them to be over here. At least they get Spain. ESC Dakota, I think we're losing Malta, Albania, Denmark, Latvia for sure. And then San Marino has a real shot. They're polished, have a good slot, and potential voting allies. I'm living in that world a little bit. I'm living in that world. Algae Mantas, it's weird Austria isn't opening. That would have been the greatest opener. Sometimes you got to have people, buckle up. And I do like Austria being a little bit of like, I mean, y'all should just know, because I think some people have this conflated. I have France on my ESC Faves playlist. I sing along to the song. It's on the playlist. I'm just saying. But I do think that Austria will wake people up a little bit more and lift us up coming out of France. Because here's the thing. If you had like Denmark being that lift, it wouldn't have lifted us enough. Do you know on one of my live streams, people were talking about Denmark being like our anthemic message song? Y'all know it's about a breakup, right? It's not even hopeful. It's not hopeful. But maybe no one's paying attention. But I don't know. I think the lyrics are pretty clear. I think we're hearing it. Gabor says, I think Czechia is out. Actually, let me pull this one up. AG Andreas, I wish Czechia was in semifinal 1. Here's the thing. I'd actually feel better about Czechia's chances if it were in semifinal 1. But also, too, execution. I hope that Aiko is able to prove some of the haters wrong and leave on a high note. That would be my my hope. Lewis, Denmark sounds anthemic because it's advertisement music. Sand. Okay. Maybe it'll advertise the beach at some point. Ms. London, how do you feel about Netherlands closing if Joost includes the outro of the song, which I hope he does? I would have had Belgium or Estonia close the semi. No. The Netherlands name. Europe! Let's come together. Oh, Papa. Mm-mm. Yeah, no. Netherlands needed to close the semi. I think that was a smart decision, and then we can move on to like a sketch or something like that. I'm predicting Czechia is coming last as of right now, but we shall see. This semi is definitely Lily. Netherlands was always going to close the semi. Coraline says he won't do the outro. He won't. I mean, I guess we'll see. I don't care. And then, I'm Stefan. Albania is coming last in this bunch. Lucia, the Netherlands should have opened. Well, they weren't going to because they pulled second half, so that wasn't going to be a possibility. And then PR says Netherlands is definitely winning this semi. I think we thought the Netherlands was winning this semi all along, though, right? Like once we got all the things, it was like the Netherlands is winning. I've been pretty consistent in saying the Netherlands is winning. I think at some point some people thought that Greece or Switzerland had it. Latency bias will hurt those enough. I don't, not hurt those like hurt, but like hurt it enough to where it's like they won't be winning the semi. Netherlands is going to be winning. I think some people think Norway could win the semi. I'm not living in that world at all. At all. I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. I don't trust the locals. I don't trust the locals at all. At all. But that's sort of my breakdown. That's sort of my breakdown of the semifinals. I mean, ultimately, I think the running order, I think the thing that makes me the most irked is I do feel like Serbia and Ireland, like I had some faves that were, I think, hurt by this a little bit. But overall, I think that this will be an engaging show. I will say, I think some things that scream out to me, I do actually, in theory, I love the inclusion of the Big Five to actually perform live and in full. I do like that in theory of it, but I will say, personally, this year, I am looking at them like, man, some of y'all could hurt some of my faves. Like I said, I think the UK, if they're able to execute this well, I do worry about Bambie's just feeling more raw. Now, maybe that rawness will help it to really, truly stand out, but just looking at the voting patterns, particularly from last year, it does seem like the vast majority of Europe is looking for and sort of liking the more polished things. I mean, let's look at, our top five. The rawest thing we had was like Katia, and it wasn't really that raw. Like, yeah, it was out of the box. It was a little bit risky. But I would say there was very much so a Scandinavian, perfection about the whole execution of it, other than his vocal. Now, it's not a vocal song, but you know what I mean. Could he have been a little bit more on the pitch and key of the notes on the piece of the paper? Yeah, that could have happened. What else are you all kind of talking about? Mass voting for Bambi. Look, I'm telling y'all, in semifinal one, like, this is gonna sound bad maybe, but I'm telling you right now, the only things I'm paying money for, because I'm a strategic voter, is Australia and Ireland. Honestly, I might just go full force hard for Ireland, because here's the thing, my favorites don't need me, I don't think. Like, I would say if this was like last year, I would be living in a scenario of like, let me go on and help out Serbia since the running order was completely non-optimal. So let me throw a little bit there. And then I would have been like, I just got to throw a little bit to Portugal because, Portugal. And then I would have been like, okay, let me just do the rest in big buckets for Ireland and Australia. But I don't know if that's going to be the best way to allocate my resources this year. I think I might just have to go full force for Ireland, because here's the thing. I do think Serbia's going to make it. I think Serbia's going to make it. I think Portugal's going to make it. And I actually think Australia's going to make it. I'm living in a world where Australia makes it. So if that's the case, then I just got to go for the full force thing that I think might not make it. That's the world I'm living in. I'm like, we'll see. Lucia says we didn't comment enough about Portugal. Well, see, I just did a whole lament. Donovan says I will give all 20 votes to Ireland. Antonio says I don't think we will get any shock qualifiers or non-qualifiers, much like last year. I think I'm living in that world too. I don't think it will end up feeling very shocking because I think that some of the things that don't qualify, either it's something that we were already worried for and we were already anticipating was a possibility, or it's a situation and scenario where it's like the execution was not good. And some of y'all need to wake up beyond the studio cut because Eurovision is a television show, baby. People got to do this stuff live. And we have to bring it to life in an optimal way. And some countries are not good at it. And some countries won't. We have to prepare ourselves. But let's just say, preparing myself for something isn't speaking it into existence because I always live with the hope that we will have the most competitive and exciting Eurovision that we could have. This year, I feel like we're on the road to getting that. I really, really do. I think this year, we're in the setup for it to be a possibility of like, we're really hitting it here, y'all. But until we see the rehearsals, until we actually see the execution, it will remain to be seen what we're actually going to end up having. Okay. Let's pivot because I think we talked about the running order. We've done this. I put out my top 10. I put out my top 10 this week, and I'm just going to tell y'all, just to start off, it was very difficult to do this. I in many ways I'm like, how did I do this? Because I just think that this is really, really, really a strong year. So just for a refresher, I ended up sort of having Switzerland and Greece in a virtual tie, but when I wrote it down on the piece of paper, I gave the edge to Switzerland, but it toggles every day. And so then I put Greece in second position. Then I had Ukraine in third. Fourth place was the Netherlands. Fifth place, Croatia. Sixth place, Norway. Lithuania was my seventh place. I had the UK in eighth position. Ninth place was Armenia. And 10th, I had Australia. I did say in parentheses, my honorable mentions were Italy, Ireland, and Serbia. I think I've talked ad nauseum about the whys for those. But I will tell you, I figured I would just tell y'all my ESC faves playlist because really, like I'm on the playlist right now. I got 22 songs. So let me just start from the bottom of the playlist and work its way up. It's not in order. I don't like rank them. I try to like mix up, and I haven't really even done like a thoughtful, like if I'm creating like a sonic experience of this playlist, like what is it? I haven't even really done that yet. So at the bottom, I've got France on there. I have Denmark. I have Czechia. I have Spain. I have Moldova, Poland, Italy, Slovenia, Ireland, Estonia, Austria. I have Austria. I have the UK, Armenia, Serbia, Norway, Croatia, Netherlands, Lithuania, and then all stuff that y'all heard me: Ukraine, Switzerland, Greece, and then I kick off the playlist with Australia. So that's 22 songs, y'all. So I'm really working from the 22 to make my personal top 10. Let me see what y'all got. Carlos, Greece gives me a lot of Rosalia vibes this year. Adrian, I am very unsure that Azerbaijan will definitely qualify. Well, the way that I sort of laid it out in my qualifications list, I had Australia next to, I was like, I don't think we're going to get both. I think we'll get one of those. But I will say, y'all, I have listened to Azerbaijan's song for the first time today. Yes, today. I think it sounds good. I do think it sounds good. I think they're doing a lot right, and we know Azerbaijan can stage well, so I'll just leave that at that. But yeah, not Belgium. Here's the thing with Belgium. Belgium was on the list. Belgium fell off the list, and I'll tell you simply, it takes too long to get there. And this is like a faves playlist, and I found myself listening to like the first minute and then skipping it mostly just because I wanted to make it to something else. I think at first when I had it on the playlist, I think I had it next to what did I have it? Oh, I think I had it next to Norway at one point. And so I really was trying to make it there. And so that's just what happened. I think Belgium song is fine. Obviously, I think it's going to qualify. But just for my faves playlist, I was like, And to be fair, on the faves playlist, this isn't a lock. Things will come off of it, as I start getting into it. And I just sometimes have to be real with myself. Now, does this mean I don't listen to the regular, like all the songs from Eurovision? Of course. Like I have to listen to that if I'm going to sit here in this chair and talk about them like critically. But yeah. So yeah, I feel like with Belgium, it's a great song. But I do think some songs are more optimal, because I'll tell you another song in this category that might be at risk of coming off the playlist. I'll be real. It's Slovenia. Why? Because I don't think that the song, and I think this about Belgium too, Belgium and Slovenia, and we got a couple of other songs this year that are in this category. They're not made for a studio cut. These are showpieces. These are songs that are meant to be experienced visually, not just sonically. So I just want to be clear about that it's like, just because something isn't on the playlist doesn't inherently mean that I don't like the song, but it is not lending itself to a in the car, we're playing jams experience. Now, I haven't taken Slovenia off because more often than not, I let it ride. But Belgium's, it just got to a point where it was just like I was constantly clicking the button, not because of the song's quality, but because of the quality of the other songs around it that I just wanted to get to. So that's really it. Lithuania prediction, I don't really have one yet, but I mean, I would hope that it comes top 10, and I could see this being a top 10 qualifier. ESC Dakota, I agree on Slovenia, but Belgium is clearly meant to be radio, what station? What station? I don't know no stations who will play this. Not in the States, to be fair. Not in the States. I can't ascribe this to a station because you wouldn't put it on a rock station. It's not CHR, rhythmic CHR. At best, it's maybe like an adult contemporary top 40, and I don't think that's their intention. Because at least with Germany's gives adult contemporary, but you'd at least put it on an alternative station for a little bit. Imagine Dragons get to play on those stations. So, you put it there for a little bit. Bruno, Portugal's so vibey, I need to see it qualify. Ebo, I can listen to Slovenia daily. I mean, I do. You're saying any station that would play Lord, Billie no, I disagree. I'm saying this because I worked at a station that played Lord and Billie Eilish. We would not play Belgian song because it's so crazy that I would say it's almost too arty, because I don't actually think that it is. Like, I don't think that it is, but I think the perception of it is that it is, because I wouldn't put this on a CHR station. And like I said, at best, maybe an adult contemporary station, and they play Royals and they'll play, when did it end? Y'all aren't on TikTok. The only reason why I know that Billie Eilish song is because there's this video on TikTok where the lady is like, when did it end? And you're supposed to do duets, like she sits and plays it so then people can sing along. And there's this one lady, and she does all of them, but it's like she typically doesn't really know what the song is, so she just starts singing it. And so it's, although enjoyment, I'm sad again. Don't tell my boyfriend it's not what he's made for. What was I made for? That's the only reason why I even got into that song. True story. Although enjoyment. Okay. Alesia, have you talked about the fact that Greece and Switzerland are right next to each other? It's such a weird decision. I have. Alesia, do you think we're about to see another non-English winner. So in retrospect, Lorien's victory is an exception. I don't think Lorien's victory was an exception. I think it was a reset. It was a reset. But maybe this is a good transition to share something with you. I've been marinating on this thought of like, and I talked about this, I think, in my first winter potential year. I think this year will either be, we want to reset, we want to hit the button. If that's the case, I think Switzerland would be a good reset. France could be a good reset. I don't think they're winning, but France could be a good reset. If it's an anomaly year, though, then we could see Croatia. But I do say Croatia with an asterisk because I think we've been overdue a Balkan win for like the last like 2-3 years. I think even statistically speaking, there are people who do these analysis and we should have seen a Balkan year. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago is what someone said. So I don't know how much of an anomaly it would be, but I think the winning margins could speak to it being an anomaly. So I'd say the anomaly winners would be Croatia, Italy because of the winning so soon next to winning before. And, I mean, I just have to tell, I mean, do y'all really want Italy to win though? I mean, I guess, and I'm asking because of all the implications of it. I like the song. I think that this will be a winner-worthy package. I am holding my breath for the execution, not because of Angelina, because of the Italian delegation and how spotty they are when it comes to bringing songs to life. That's my only pause, but yeah. Antonio, do you think styling could break or make an entry? I kind of fear for Belgium and Switzerland's choices. I mean, being worried for anything that Belgium decides to do when it comes to staging is fair because of their track record. Switzerland, I feel more confident in. And the person that they hired to do Switzerland has won Eurovision before, basically. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that. Eurovision Faith. I think the code could win based on the performance, but I'm concerned about it getting little radio play because some of the mainstream stations may consider it too edgy. I don't think that there's a direct correlation between radio play and like Eurovision winners. I think I think the roads are beginning to come closer, particularly with, if we're thinking of like a Måneskin win, if we're thinking about even like Kalush, like I heard that like on the radio in Europe before the win, so I think that's kind of an interesting thing. And then obviously Tattoo, extremely radio friendly, definitely has gotten a lot of streaming play, and I'm sure radio play in Europe. David, you only need a moment though to lock in that vote. And if Belgium provides that epic moment, it could do very well. Here's the thing. I think Belgium will do well. I'm just hesitating on when right now. I think the barriers are too high, aka, and the barriers meaning the competition. I think Croatia has an edge in this. Obviously, Italy, I think, even has an edge, even though I've been very clear and public about saying, like, I don't know, there's just something about Italy. There's just something in my itch that just tells me it's not going to win this year. I don't know why. I don't know why. Because there's so many things about it that just give like, yeah, it could win. And I do think that Switzerland has an advantage over Belgium when it comes to winning. Someone said, isn't Belgium also a little bit car commercial? At the end, but not the beginning. Oh, we fade. Thoughts on France potentially winning? I don't think it'll happen. But again, if we're doing reset year, France or Switzerland could be resets. If that's what people want, is like a reset. But I do think Switzerland has the advantage in the narrative piece of it all. Yeah. Gospel Alesia, is Europe really in its crazy, its party mood? Honestly, I feel Europe is more of a desperate and introspection mood. 2024 is more like 2022 to me than 2023. I don't think that that's what the national selections indicated. The national selections, I think, indicated more leaning towards it's crazy, it's party, more so than actual introspection. But yeah. Oh, hold on, said. Okay. Joa says, I do want Italy to win. Kaleidospace, I used to see Norway as a winner, but now that we've gotten all the songs, I don't think that they will anymore. I don't think I was ever living in a Norway winning mode, but that's not because of my personal taste. That's because of just what seems to be the voting trends. Choice DK, no, I don't want. RM, I think the Balkan broadcasters might sabotage their own victory, and so might the EBU. I don't want to live in that conspiracy theory. Mickey, I'd love an excuse to go to Italy. Honestly, Lithuania and Greece are massively disrespected being third in the semis. It's like the EBU doesn't care that they're fan faves, or the EBU saying they're fan faves, we can put them there, it doesn't matter because they're going to make it anyway. Widow Main, I don't know why, but Italy is giving huge second place vibes. I could see that, or fifth. I don't know why I'm living in like second or fifth, because I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm not confident that the juries are really gonna appreciate Italy this year. I don't, again, like I said, I don't know why. There's just something that it's like, every time Italy seems to get some momentum in the conversation, it's like we're able to have another country kind of swipe in and steal the spotlight a little bit. And that just tells me it's like something keeps going. Lewis says, Alicia, do you think Ukraine has a chance of winning? I think so, but I am concerned about what the jury will do with Ukraine this year. Obviously, I like the song a lot, but I am concerned. Gospel, and I always love when Eurovision is in Southern Europe. Ooh. Where are we? Here we go. Okay, hi, Bruno. Before any song was released, Alesia said we should all be praying for a Balkan win. So if Croatia wins, I'm officially naming Alesia as our ESC visionary. Well, look. I don't know. I don't want to jinx anybody, but I have been saying that we needed a Balkan win for a while, to be fair, and we hadn't gotten it. So, and actually, I thought it was going to be Serbia or Slovenia who would come with it. So kudos to you, Croatia. Kudos to you, because we're talking about it being you. And I know y'all say it's going to be Zagreb, but can't we just have Split? I just want to be on a boat. I want to be by the beach. Give me my dreams. El Bicho. Belgium is high-end fragrance commercial song to me. Okay. Whoa. Augusto, I also don't see France winning, but it will do really good this year. I think that France will be top 10. My battle is, I think so many of you just think France is winning the jury. And I'm like, I don't see. I think Sweden has more of a chance to win the jury than France this year. Truly. Wisteria, we need an affordable host next year. We need an affordable host because we have 37 countries participating this year. And we could be having 43, 44, maybe even 45. Okay? Let's keep it funky. We're in the home stretch, y'all. We're in the home stretch, and I just want to say, take this opportunity. Thank you for being here, spending your time, joining the conversation, participating in this. If you have not already liked this video or subscribed, please like this video and subscribe. I love having these conversations. We got so much content coming, truly. And I got events happening. I'm working on a commercial. Y'all know I love like a theme and like, an intro. Let me just tell you that commercial is going to be everything. So I also have events happening. If you want more information about those events, you need to make sure that you are going to, let me put it up here, EurovisionFam.com, right in the upper tab when you get to the website, click on events. I've got 3 events happening, and I'm also running a competition. If you are wondering, because I've heard a lot of chatter online of people like, is Eurovillage going to be ticketed? Are they even going to be showing the contest? I think we can probably say safely, like, Eurovillage probably will be broadcasting the contest. I do wonder if for the final, they mentioned that whole Eurovision Live thing, like at Malmo Live, they're going to have that big like watch party. I wonder if that is going to substitute them actually doing something in Eurovillage, at least for the final. But guess what? There's this place that is right adjacent to Euro Village. It's called Euroglam. It's euroglam.se.com. Well, not .com, but euroglam.se. Duh. I'm so used to saying, like, adding on the thing. They're actually going to be having events. They're going to be having like after parties, DJ nights, and they will also be broadcasting all of the semis and the grand final. So I'm giving away this is for free. For one person, you can get 2 day passes. So if you're trying to figure out where am I going to watch this, where am I going to go, that's an option. Enroll in the contest. It's on my Instagram page. So just plug in all that stuff, because for people who are going, you're trying to figure out what you can do and everything. Because see, some of y'all are like, I don't want to go to the shows, but I already booked my like non-refundable hotel, and like, how am I going to see fans and things if I'm not going to go to the shows? You can come to these events, and the only person who benefits from these events are the venues. Not even me. Not even me, the venues. So please, if you're looking for stuff to do, just check that out. So we can pivot back. We're in the home stretch. So many comments. Adontis, I don't know. People overlook how the jury usually prioritizes high quality pop over big vocals. So yes, Sweden does have a better chance than France. I agree. Christos, do you think the juries are going to vote for Greece? I think some will. But I could also see them playing Marina to the left like they did Blanca Paloma. That's also a scenario I could see happening for Norway. Because let's also be real with Norway. Juries also don't have a dope track record of like, appreciating Norway. So Norway also has that hurdle of like, if you look at how juries have kind of treated them en masse, like they don't tend to be favored, let's say. ESC Dakota, thank you so much. Y'all better like the video and run her that check. Alesia, who would you crown out of the countries who haven't won yet for this year? Well, for this year, technically, I mean, Croatia. I mean, of the packages for countries that have not won Eurovision yet, yeah, I'd have to give it up to Croatia. And I think I said this in my top 10. I was like, no, I don't have Croatia as my number one song, but like, do I want to see them win Eurovision this year? Yeah. Are there other countries I would love to see win? I mean, I would say Switzerland's, if you're talking about like who I'd like to see win, it's probably like Croatia. Well, and then Greece, and obviously, Greece has won before. And then Switzerland, and obviously Switzerland has won before. Switzerland I put down a little bit lower just because my pocketbook and my bank account. Okay? My pocketbook and my bank account. But if they do it in Geneva, I could be there. Even though I had an extremely traumatic flight. Like I literally had like a panic attack on a flight that was my connecting flight from Switzerland to France, like full blown. And then it didn't help that Charles de Gaulle is the nightmare airport that it is, because then I had my connecting flight and then it just devolved very, very quickly. So I need to break that fear, conquer it, and go back to Switzerland and have a connecting flight. Okay, hold on. Lorendi, Alessandra flopped in her jury rehearsal and missed her note. Actually, but didn't she... I thought in the... No, this is what it was. Yeah, she missed the note. I mean, she missed the note in the semifinal. But the thing was, the rehearsal before the grand final, she hit the note. She hit it. But then at the big show, at the grand final, she was unable to hit the note. Yeah. Let's say. Okay. Natasha, do you think the Netherlands can win? I have done the math, and I could see the Netherlands winning, because I think that Joost is well known enough that some jurors will go, oh yeah, like we know this guy. And I do feel like I can do the math. Now, would I want it to be in the Netherlands? Like, would I want the Netherlands to win? Selfishly, no. Because yet again, I will not be able to go, because I wasn't able to go the last time. Inflation is real. I am more than positive that I won't be able to afford it the next time. Yeah. Um, to say, isn't it kind of obvious the Netherlands will win? Like, what would make them not win at this point? The jury, the jury, the jury. And to be fair, I do feel like the Netherlands could be our overall televote winner, but Croatia could also steal their thunder in that category too. Might not be a wide margin, could be tight, and I think tight both ways. But yeah, I think there are some real barriers that the Netherlands will have to reckon with. Tom, why people only speak about the big vocals when it comes to win the jury vote, but not mention the stage presence interpretation of the song? I think this is also very important. I think I've been very consistent on my channel, and being very clear that I don't actually think the jury cares that much about vocal moments. Take Norway as an example last year. She missed it. I mean, her vocal was off really, I mean, the bulk of it. But I think because the song was such a hit, everyone knew it, and I think they liked the energy. I don't think that staging was optimal, but I do think Alessandra was selling it with the charisma and sort of telegenic quality that she was giving. Yeah, I mean, the juries really do get mesmerized by like a stage show, and that is why I said I absolutely think Sweden has a higher, chance of winning the jury than France does. I'm not saying that because I want it to happen. Y'all know I'm not even really listening to the track. So it's not about what I want. It's just what I think maybe is most likely to happen. Alesia, you can book a hotel in Germany if Zurich would host. I don't want to commute. I commute in my regular life. Sometimes it takes me an hour to get to work. No, I don't want to commute on like my vacation time, if that makes any sense. Even though technically I'll be kind of commuting this year. I don't know. Overall, I think we had a lot to talk about today. We didn't even really get into my Versuz competition, but we really had to marinate in the winner potential of it all. And of course, this semi-final running order. And I was able to get into some of your comments and stuff. Just want to say thank you again for watching. If you haven't already, please like this video and please do subscribe. I have more content coming for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to have a good weekend. I'm willing it into existence, even though it has been very, very gloomy over here. And it might be gloomy where you are. But we have Eurovision. This is our community. Don't forget, check out those events, EurovisionFam.com. And when you're there, literally the tab for events, or you can just do Eurovision.com/events. And it has links to all of the different events that I'm kind of promoting. And then also you can enter into that contest happening on Instagram so you can get your tickets to Euroglam. Okay? So much popping, so much happening. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, y'all.